Hey guys, it's Funny Gamer here, and today I am back with another video in the Wild West. And in this video, I'll be creating a trading tier list for all of the different tradable items. This video is going to be split into two parts: the auction tradable items and the non-auction items, because the auction items are worth a lot more than any other items. So to make sure that the tier lists kind of work correctly, it will be split in two. And anyways, let's get right into it, and if you could subscribe, that would really help me out. So first off, we have the auction item tier list of all tradable auction items. So yeah, there's around 15 different auction items, and starting off we have the accordion, which I think I'm going to put it at a C tier. Next, we have the black market key, which is an F tier, since compared to all of the other auction items, it is pretty cheap. Drum is a D tier because it's less valuable than the accordion, but still goes for quite a lot. Same with the fiddle, I'm going to put it at D tier. I'm actually going to put it above drum because it's worth more. The flute, I'm going to also put above drum. And the guitar is another C tier, and it's around the same as the accordion, so I'm going to just put it right there. Now, the Guy-Caught chain carbine and chain pistols are probably another C tier because they do have a high value, but not as high compared to some other auction weapons. The harmonica I'm going to put at D tier as well. It's going to be on the end, maybe above the drum because it's worth a bit more. Now, the Kirki knife is an instant S tier. At least for now, it is a very valuable item and it goes for a lot. Now, the Lancaster I'm going to put at a tier as it is a pretty expensive auction weapon. Same with the Patterson Navy, it's also going to be an A tier. And the prototype is going to be B tier. The Spitfire will go at S tier. I'll probably put it above the Kirki because the Kirki is going to likely go down in value. Right now it's very high because a lot of people want it, but in around a month its value will probably go down. And finally, we have the trumpet, which is a D tier right above the flute. So yeah, those are all of the auction items. Now, the most valuable are the Kirki and Spitfire, and you could probably trade a Spitfire and get a Kirki or the other way around. So yeah, and I think that'll be all for this tier list, so let's move on to the next one. Now, this is the trading tier list of non-auction items, so anything that is not an auction item can be found here. So, first of all, we have the Ancient Relic, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to put at an A tier, and I am referring to all of the Christmas items as if the event's already over, because as of making this video, the Christmas event's almost over. So yeah, when you're watching, it's likely going to be over. So all of the items that are from the current Christmas event, I'm just going to be putting them on the list as if they're already unobtainable. So yeah, the Ancient Relic I'm putting at A tier because it's a rare drop from the Krampus boss, and it takes quite a lot of people to fight the boss. And yeah, only one drops and sometimes even none per boss. So overall, it is a very valuable trading item, and you can get some really good trades with it. Next are the bones from the 2020 Halloween event, which I think I'm going to put them at a B tier. They are valuable, but they're not really high in demand because they are just bones and they're not really used for anything, but they are still pretty valuable. Next is the pile of bones from this year's Halloween event, which I'm going to put at a C tier. They're still kind of valuable, but they are newer than the other bones and they aren't really used for anything. Next is the candy cane tomahawk, which was very common, so I'm going to put it at the D tier since it isn't very valuable. And next we have the ceremonial knife, which is going to be another A tier because it's not really easy to get several of these. You'd need alt accounts and you'd need to get it before trading happens. So if you want to have several of these, they cost quite a lot to trade for. So that's why it's an A tier. Next is the stolen present, which is pretty common, but I think I'm going to put it at a C tier because it still is a somewhat valuable item, as although it is common and you get after defeating the Krampus boss, not many people know to look for it or to store up on them when they find them in the castle. Most people would just sell them for the extra money you get. So next we have a cookie, which is going to be another D tier because it isn't that rare and you can get it quite easily with nice or naughty tokens. And next we have the skull lantern, which I think I'm going to put it at a B tier. Although it is kind of like the ceremonial knife, it isn't as valuable because it isn't an actual weapon and you can just use the normal lantern. Next is the volcanic pistol, the cursed one from the 2021 Halloween event. And this item I'm going to put at A tier because it's kind of like the knife and it's only dropped from the boss, making it pretty rare. Next we have the diamond, which I'm just going to put at F tier. It is still pretty valuable, but not too valuable. And next we have the axe from this year's Christmas event, which I think I'll put it at B tier. It's still a pretty valuable item, but it isn't that valuable. And since trading came out in the Christmas event, you can get several of these pretty easily with an alt account. Now, next we have the frozen bow, which I'm going to put A tier because it was a bit harder to get than the axe as it required naughty tokens, which you have to defeat 30 outlaws just to get one bow. So yeah, it was pretty hard to obtain, and you can't get several of them without alternate accounts. Same with the Christmas volcanic rifle, or whatever it's called. It's also an A tier because it's pretty hard to get and you need alt accounts to get it, and it's also a really cool weapon. Now next we have a few legendary animal items. The bear claw is going to go at F tier because it's worth around $500, and the buffalo pelt, I'm pretty sure that's the buffalo pelt. Yeah, I'm gonna put it at D tier because it's a bit more valuable than the diamond or the bear claw, but still not super valuable. And every other legendary animal item is gonna go F tier because they're all worth around the same price. Next we have the 5 tickets, or whatever amount, doesn't have to be 5, but these tickets came from the 2020 Christmas event, so I'm going to put them, it's between an A and an S tier. I think an A tier because these still aren't worth very much. They don't have much of a use, so I think I'm going to put them at A tier. The polar bear pelt, since it was in the recent Christmas event again, I'm going to put at B tier. It isn't a very valuable item. Now, all of the skeleton parts I'm going to put at S tier because they can only be obtained in the 2020 Halloween event, and yeah, they were pretty rare, so all of them are going right in the S tier, and if you have these, they're quite valuable, especially if you have all 5. So next, snake venom, another S tier item. Now this venom is very rare, and it was only obtained during a small portion of the update from 2020 September, and yeah, it dropped from snakes, but they were later removed. In the future, this will probably come back, which will destroy its value, but right now it's a very valuable item. Now next we have the Thunderstruck Cactus, which I'm going to put at C tier, and the Thunderstruck Log, which I'm going to put at probably C tier as well. These are both valuable items and are pretty good for trading. And yeah, just cool items that are pretty hard to get. And in a future update, these will both be useful, so that's why I put them at a C tier. Finally is the zombie bear pelt, which I'm pretty sure, I think I'm going to put it at an A tier. This was a pretty hard item to get because it was a rare drop from zombie bears, so you needed to kill 30 skeletons just to get enough bones to get to the zombie bears, and then it was a rare drop from them, and if it drops on death, so in a very dangerous place. If you died, you'd lose any zombie bear pelts that you got. So yeah, those are all of the items. There's only a few S tier items, but still very valuable items. Now, if you want to use these tier lists, I'll leave a link in the description to find them, and you can create your own tier lists. That will be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye!